All right, 3, 2, 1. We are rolling.
Ahoy.
What's up? So I just actually found out that there's a 35 millimeter scan of Eyes Wide Shut that features a squashed fly on one of the frames. Have you ever seen this movie?
I have seen this movie. I did not know that was there though.
Well, no, this didn't make the actual cut of the movie. I think this is. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if it did actually. I just saw this picture, and I was laughing my ass off because there's probably so many frames of films that exist like this. They probably just cut the frame out, honestly, if it was caught in editing at all. I don't know if it's in the film though. I would actually be curious to go back and and look at it because it's fucking funny, and the kind of just the way he's sort of like staring at it almost. Like it kind of just like works out perfectly. He's like direct eye line. It's pretty funny.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Yeah, welcome back to the Harsh Language Podcast, folks. This is episode 115 and the last of 2024. Hopefully, everybody had a happy holiday. Marvin, unfortunately, could not be with us tonight. He's doing some New Year's Eve stuff, planning some New Year's Eve stuff.
Getting ready for a big party.
Yep. But today's episode, we're talking about the sequel nobody asked for, Gladiator 2. That'll be later on in the show, so stick around to hear our thoughts on that, or, skip ahead if you'd prefer. But as always, leave a comment, share your thoughts and opinions on any of the topics we cover, as our goal here, Dusty, is to cultivate a diverse range of movie lovers, sharing their opinions with one another, right? That's what this is all about. So with that said, how was your holiday? How was your week?
It was good. Yeah. Christmas was pretty quiet. The kids were at their dad's most of the week, so we just had them for like the last half of Christmas Day. But yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Santa treat you right or what?
Yeah, sure. Got some magic cards.
Nice.
I'm not big into the whole presents buying thing. Never big on.
You don't like consumerism?
The corporate consumerism holidays that we've designed.
Yeah, I didn't think
I'm all about gift giving on my own time.
Yeah,
I'll get you something out of the blue, like randomly. Here you go. Here's a gift. What's this for? Nothing.
Just for nothing, because you're a cool guy. Yeah. All right, I like that. That's nice.
But yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Kids enjoyed it. They get 2 Christmases now, so
nice. Yeah, I had 2 Christmases my whole life. My parents got divorced when I was in kindergarten.
3rd or 4th grade. I was 3rd, yeah. So yeah.
All right. Anyhow, well, that's cool. You do anything for New Year's? New Year's Eve, by the way, folks, is tomorrow. We are recording on the 30th.
I don't know if we're gonna go hang out with some friends, or I think we have the kids, so probably not gonna do anything unless somebody with kids is doing a New Year's. I don't know. We got some friends with kids that do stuff, but yeah. I don't know.
I hate going out on New Year's, man. I didn't even like it when I was younger.
Yeah.
Obviously, being from New York, it's like a lot of people always want to go to the city. I am so avidly against that. It's like, I've done it once, I'll never do it again.
My social, gas tank runs out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
You can go out, get drug out to some social event once or twice a week, and I'm done. I'm like, I don't need to go out anymore this week, please.
Well, I mean, just going to Times Square for New Year's is like, it's fucking crazy.
It's an event, I'm gonna imagine, yeah.
Because you take the train into the city, right? And it's fucking packed. You got to find a spot to stand. Good luck moving after that. So you really can't go to the bathroom for like the entire event. And then catching a train home is it's just an all-around nightmare. And I mean, I don't know what the weather is going to be like. Right now it's 45 degrees. It's actually like kind of nice out.
Yeah,
but
nice.
Normally it's fucking freezing on New Year's Eve. So you're just standing out there in the cold, having to go to the, like, it's not worth it to me to just watch a fucking ball come out of the sky. Like, it's stupid. Not for me.
Yeah. Went to a Christmas tree lighting this year.
Oh, yeah?
It was interesting, I guess.
How was that?
I've been to them before. You stand around, supposed to shop at the local shops,
Yeah.
and then you watch the Christmas tree get lit.
That I've actually never done. You know,
Yeah.
they do the big, the Rockefeller Center
Sure.
tree lighting. I've never actually gone to that. Surprisingly, I mean, I've been to the tree to see it, but I've never been to the actual like lighting ceremony of it. But
I see.
But yeah, so I had some interesting gift situations. So these headphones that I have, these are the HyperX Cloud 2 wireless headset. So
Nice.
historically, I have always liked HyperX headphones. I don't know if you know this about me, Dusty, but I'm somewhat of an audiophile. I used to work in the car stereo business, and I developed a keen ear for good audio quality, and we used to do like home theater installations and stuff too. And shockingly, for a fairly inexpensive like gaming headset, the HyperX make pretty good products. So when I first started PC gaming, I bought the wired version of the Cloud 2s. And then when I decided to get into like wireless, I had bought like a couple pairs of wireless ones that they had made.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, I saw that they had put out the Cloud 2 wireless. I was like, oh, fuck, the Cloud 2s are my favorite. I'm going to go buy them. So I've had these ever since, and they're like great. And they're actually like really well. I'm surprised at how good they are. They're like really good for gaming, obviously, especially in like shooters. You hear footsteps pretty accurately. They are really good for music, and they're good for editing. Like they're just like a really good. I even when I watch movies and TV shows, sometimes I watch on my computer and I use these headphones. So they're just like a pretty good all around headphone. And this year for Christmas, I didn't know, like I get put under the gun with like, hey, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I saw that the ear cups on mine were like peeling and shit, and the band was starting to fall apart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I went on their website and I saw they had the HyperX Cloud 3 wireless. I was like, oh, okay, I'll try those out. So Santa brought them to me, thankfully.
Nice.
Yeah. And I popped them in on Christmas Day, and like immediate quality difference, like, and not in a good way. They sounded so bad. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I did some digging online, and I saw that a lot of people had similar concerns. They're like, the Cloud 3s don't sound anywhere as good as the Cloud 2s. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll send them back, and I'll just get a new pair of the Cloud 2s. So I did. The Cloud 2s showed up. I popped them on. They sounded like shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Uh-oh.
I was like, they're the same headphone. Then I did a little bit more digging, and what turns out is that the company Kingston that owned HyperX, that made HyperX, sold to HP, Hewlett Packard. So HP now makes all their products, and I saw there was a whole millions of Reddit threads about it, how since HP took over, the quality in production and like design just completely fucking shot off a cliff. And like the build of them were like physically cheaper. Like they're all plastic, where these are like kind of like metal, and just all around. So I sent them back, and I ended up just buying a new pair of ear cups, like replacement cups for my old pair.
Repair. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Well, I found this third-party ear cup company, and these are cooling. They're filled with cooling gel. So
nice.
Yeah. So that's what I ended up doing. I'm just going to use these until they die. But just another example of how late-stage capitalism is cannibalizing like literally every aspect of life on Earth.
Yeah, they used to be able to buy a pair of studio headphones in the last year, 15, 20 years, if not longer. Now, a pair of headphones barely last you a year and a half.
Yeah, these are still good. The battery lasts all day pretty much. Like,
right.
I charge them overnight and they're fine. They sound great. They're comfortable. They're light. Like I don't even feel them on my head. So I'm just going to use them until they completely stop working. But
yeah, I was using Rocket accessories there for a while. Their mice and their keyboards and their headphones.
What do you use when we record?
They got bought out by somebody. I'm just wearing some Bluetooth headphones because my PC has Bluetooth. My laptop does too, actually. But yeah.
So you don't use like actual
I've looked at
anymore?
in-ear monitors or over-the-ear monitors. I prefer, over-the-ear.
Yeah,
but
me too.
This, I don't know.
I mean, for an hour that we record, it's worth it. I'm
torn on whether or not to wear headphones or not while recording.
Yeah,
So,
I would rather not, but I mean, I don't think I look that bad.
No.
I feel like I look
Mm.
worse without them.
Yeah.
I have the Apple headphones that I could use. I don't know, but yeah, that's my Christmas story. Otherwise, holiday was pretty nice. Spent some time with the family. Same stuff.
Yeah.
Have you watched anything over this week or what?
Uh, what did I watch? Catching up with I think Only Murders in the Building. Got a couple episodes left.
Nice. It's a good season.
This season. Yeah. Caught up with Silo.
Oh yeah, I'm one
and,
episode behind Silo. I gotta watch it tonight, actually.
Yeah. Oh, watching Skeleton Crew with the kids.
Oh, I forgot that came out. That's actually
Yeah.
clutch that you brought that up. I gotta add that to my list right now.
It's pretty good so far.
Is it?
Yeah. What else? There's something else. I don't remember. Oh, I watched the movie. Same guy. I can't even think of his name right now.
What guy?
Skeleton Crew lead male actor.
Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude. He's in another movie that just came out called The Order. I watched that, and that was an interesting movie. It's about Nazis. So
This one here, yeah. I had
Yeah.
heard about that.
He's like an ill FBI agent, and it's back half of his career or whatever, trying to. Yeah, it's
Ill
it's a
as
good.
in what?
What do you mean? He's sick.
Like sick? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he something, I forget what it was. He's got to take some medicine. Oh, he had a heart surgery. He's got to take some pills. He has nosebleeds and shit. He's always coughing. Yeah. Really, really good movie. Actually,
Oh, Nicholas Hoult is in this, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah, I wanted to check that out.
Yeah, really good.
Okay. Do you watch? You caught up on Shrinking yet or no?
No, I have not. No, Christina's way behind on that one. There's so many shows that she hasn't watched, so
Yeah.
we're taking those just one series at a time. Because if I start too many with her, she's
Right.
like, no, don't, stick with one and get through it. I'm like, okay.
The season 2 finale was this week. I watched. That's basically the only thing I watched.
Nice.
It was really, really good. It's just a great show. Perfect show. I love it so much.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back into that one.
You know what I wanted to mention? I have continued to forget to bring it up. I don't remember if Marvin recommended it or you recommended it. I know other people have as well, but the show Beef on Netflix. Have you watched that?
Yeah, I saw it. I think Marvin talked about recently watching it. Maybe he didn't. I don't know, but
I think he did.
yeah,
it was really
it's
good.
Yeah,
it was like
good show.
shockingly good.
Yeah. I think this is going to be like True Detective, where season 2 has nothing to do. I don't know. Are they bringing the characters back? I think it's completely different characters, completely different scenario.
I think it's different. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I really like that. I like Ali Wong a lot.
But yeah, that was a wild little series that they had there.
I was really surprised by how good it was because, I mean, like, I know, everybody who recommended it said how good it was, but like just on the premise alone about like road rage or whatever, like I didn't really, even if you read it on IMDb, 2 people let a road rage incident burrow into their minds and slowly consume their every thought and action. Like that to me just like didn't really sound that enticing. But I didn't imagine the places that it would actually go. And it was really and it's not even really about that, honestly. That's just
not at all, yeah.
That's just like the MacGuffin of the whole story. It's
the little primer.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So anybody out there who hasn't watched it, definitely check it out. I'd say one of the better things I've seen on Netflix, to be honest. But yeah, that's about all I watched this week.
I did put on the Lord of the Rings animated movie, but I was cooking and
War of the Rohirrim.
Rohirrim. Yeah. I was cooking and doing stuff, and it was just on in the background because the kids were on the couch on their devices or whatever, switches, tablets.
Nice.
So, yeah, I didn't really get to see it, so I don't know if it's any good or not, but
okay.
Heard it's kind of just okay.
Yeah, I haven't taken the time to watch it yet. I almost went to see Nosferatu this weekend, but I wasn't able to get there. But I plan to see it this week along with the Dylan movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's out.
Yeah. I don't know if you have it in your news, but I bookmarked a thing about it. It earned 11.6 million in its opening day, which makes it the second highest grossing R-rated film on Christmas Day.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what the first one is, but it's a weird... I don't know, movies always get these like weird little stats about like, it's the highest grossing PG-13 movie on a fucking Wednesday in July. Like, well, who fucking cares?
Right.
It's cool though.
Yeah.
I think I've heard pretty good things about it. I mean, I wasn't really worried about it.
That's
but
just how they market it to get more people to go see it, so it makes more money.
You think so?
Yeah.
I had another funny thing I bookmarked here that I'm looking at. So did you catch wind of this for your news piece or no?
I'm not sure that my monitor's fucking 6 feet away, so I can't read that.
So apparently, this came out this week that Netflix executives apparently tell their screenwriters to have characters, quote, announce what they're doing so that viewers who have a program on in the background can follow along. So I saw this week. Netflix calls it casual viewing. And it's one of their thousands of micro genres that they apparently have for their own platform. And they call casual viewing, they use it for movies and TV that basically go down best when you're not paying attention.
So it's Seinfeld about Seinfeld.
I guess.
It's a show about nothing where we just talk about what we're doing.
I guess so.
Which is nothing.
But this was like a timely thing because, I mean, to be honest with you, I did not like Gladiator 2, and we'll obviously be talking about it. And I guess we talk about it a lot here. It's just like, I feel like there's just such a fucking wash of mediocrity over really all forms of media these days. Really thanks to late stage capitalism, because like investors and shit are making decisions instead of creators. And they are like so far removed from the creative process that like they have no business making decisions in it in the first place. And this is just like another example of that. I was like stunned when I read this. So, I
mean, have you ever listened to a dub of somebody narrating a show or a movie for a blind person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those where they describe what's going on. That's basically what this is. They're just describing what's going on. Well,
basically, I mean, they're making products for like,
that's weird though,
just the lowest quality of viewer who's literally watching a thing for fucking background noise. And so Netflix is
I'm guilty of that, but
we all
I'm
are.
going to put on something that I've seen.
Right.
That I know is good, that I can stop and enjoy. Like, oh, this scene's good. Or, oh, okay, what's going on right now? Or
where I come from, that's called comfort viewing.
Yes.
Like, oh, I've seen this fucking 45 times. I'm just going to throw it on in the background while I'm doing something. I don't actually do that, though, believe it or not. Like, when I sit down to watch something, like, I want to really watch it, which is why sometimes maybe, like, when we review, like, movies and stuff, sometimes maybe I come off a little bit harsher than you or Marvin, because, like, I feel like you and Marvin have the capability to be like, this kind of sucks. Like, I'm just going to go do other stuff while I'm listening to this or watching it.
Right.
Where I'm like fucking watching it. So like, I have to, like, I just dig in and I just grip my teeth and I fucking thug it out a lot of the time.
Yeah, there's very few movies that we've watched where I've gotten like distracted enough where I like got on my phone and just
Mhm.
checked out. Or I mean, I don't think
It might
I'm
be a
not
little. No,
one
I'm
of the
not.
ones where I didn't finish a movie though. I'm pretty sure I
No, only
finished them
me and
all.
Marvin are have done that so far. But
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean it's different because obviously we're watching to have a discussion about a thing, so you want to like have some like know what you're talking about. So I totally get that, but like I'm just saying, like I feel like you guys have you could wire yourself to be like, whatever. Where I'm just like,
Yeah.
fuck, I gotta watch this now. Like I gotta keep watching this because like I don't know, it's like
Right.
a completionist thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I thought that was crazy. Like they're just like making fucking stuff to just not be watched. It's weird because then we come along and we're like, this sucks. Like why is this so bad? And that's why.
Right.
It's crazy.
But people are watching it because it's background show, so they're still gonna. That's yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess that's just you know,
there's a really
yuck other
long.
people's yums. You know, it's like people that like the ASMRs and
Yeah, that's true.
the all the other stuff. So
Well, there's a really long article on it that I could link if you're interested in reading about it. But it was just super interesting and very disappointing, honestly. It's
I'm surprised Netflix doesn't have an ASMR genre. to be
I'm
honest,
surprised they
actually, now
don't
that I
either.
think about it.
That's what I put on when I'm working. If I want something like honestly, when I want background like just noise, it's either music or
Mhm.
I do put on a lot of ASMR because it's just something to just like have there that I don't have to focus on.
Yeah,
Which is what I like. I don't because
it's just ambient noise.
yeah, when there's a movie on or something, like I always find myself having to like focus on it, even if I've seen it like a number of times. It's bizarre. I don't know. Maybe I have ADHD or something. Although ADHD would be like the opposite of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, I mean, I guess we could get into the news this week because that was kind of like newsy. What do you got for us this week, Dusty?
That's
Oh, he's
Get out the
busting
old
out
laptop.
the laptop. It's fucking serious.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to do it like this because my computer's way over there.
Okay.
Um,
But how
yeah.
far are you sitting from your computer?
I don't know. The mouse is like
Oh,
2 or 3 feet beyond my reach over here, and
just because you're
yeah,
chilling?
it's not too far.
Or because
Yeah,
of like the
just
way the
sitting in.
camera is?
Just because, yeah,
Oh,
the way
okay.
the camera is. Yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean, I'm gonna get a more comfortable chair to sit right
Oh,
here.
right.
like
Yeah,
I said.
you were looking for a chair.
Yeah. Okay, so Batman 2
Yeah.
delayed a year to October 2027.
Mm-hmm.
This is apparently because Matt Reeves is still working on the script and he's a completionist. He won't start production until the script is done and he's happy with it. And apparently he likes to take his time with scripts.
Yeah. So I saw some weird rumors about this that apparently it's like a personal matter. Now, I don't know how true or false this is because a lot of the quote unquote sources I've seen it from on Twitter are like Zack Snyder cultists.
Mm.
And the current thing that these Zack Snyder people are doing is to try to like discredit James Gunn at every possible juncture imaginable. And one of the more prominent things recently has been basically trying to spread the narrative that James Gunn is actually responsible for the Batman 2 not coming out. Like they're all theorizing that James Gunn is like this sinister fucking guy who's in control of the DC, who now he fired Zack Snyder, he fired Henry Cavill, and he won't let Zack Snyder continue the story, and now he's going to do the same to Matt Reeves. Like this is the narrative that they're spinning.
Bobby P was talking about retiring before even making the final Batman, wasn't he?
I don't know,
Like,
but
he was
listen.
like, they asked him about the Batman because it was supposed to be a trilogy or something. He's like, I don't even know when to make the second one. I might retire or something was, I believe, his answer. So,
well, listen, these are people that you can't quite reason with, you know?
yeah, I don't.
So there's that. But So that's basically what I've been seeing online. But now, so they've been basically, long story short, they've been blaming Zack Snyder. I mean, they've been blaming James Gunn for the Batman 2 script taking so long, theorizing that it's actually him, like, not wanting the movie to come out. And so he's just stonewalling Matt Reeves. Okay, so now this came out, and now everybody's saying, like, oh, well, something is going on behind the scenes. And I've seen a couple people say it's something like personal going on with Matt Reeves. I don't know. It's neither here nor there, but like, when did it become expected for sequels to come out? Like within a year or two of the original movie? I feel like it hasn't been that long since the Batman came out. It's only been a couple years. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Came
know.
out in
A franchise
2022.
can grow stale though. Like if it goes too long between, actors' age and stuff, it changes everything.
Sure, but wouldn't you want a better product than like just a rushed fucking thing? I would. Like,
absolutely.
Like, I'm glad the studio is letting Matt Reeves take his time, because if this was Kevin Feige, like, he would have replaced fucking Matt Reeves with a fucking Rick and Morty writer like 8 months ago already. Like, that's what's been going on with Marvel. Like, scripts take long, they get canceled, or they just get they've been firing and hiring and like doing all sorts of shit, and the products we've gotten have been like not great. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
speaking of, apparently Feige is unhappy with Spider-Man 4.
Really?
According to our boy My Time to Shine, hello. Yeah.
I think it's a chick, but yeah, go ahead.
Tom Holland likes the story while Feige does not, and they are now, quote, they're rewriting it and changing everything. The script isn't ready yet and won't be for a while.
Damn.
So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this has a release date of July 24, 2026, and they're not even set to begin filming until sometime mid-2025. So they have time, but starting from scratch today and trying to start filming mid-2025 is kind of pushing it. So I don't...
Well, this had the... Wasn't there like the weird thing that just recently happened where like, something about Sony like really kind of like pushing for a multiversal
story? Well, Sony's Tom Rothman and Feige have been reportedly, we reported on this, fighting over where to go with the Spider-Man 4, where Rothman wanted to make it a big badass multiversal type film, kind of like,
because they want to bring back, I kind of play coy when we talk about it because Marvin hasn't seen them, and Toby is his favorite Spider-Man, and I don't think he's aware that Toby came back for No Way Home, but
right,
obviously Sony wants to cash in on that again and bring back Toby and what's his name, because they did Andrew Garfield, because it made so much money. It was like that was like an event film, that was like a cultural thing that happened. It was like a bar.
Absolutely.
It was like a
that was,
Barbenheimer
I
thing.
mean, every Spider-Man you knew, every summer, every Spider-Man, when it came out, it was going to break records. And if you wanted to go see it on the day it came out, you were going to stand in line for a long time.
Well, but no, I just mean this particular, when No Way Home, I'm saying, what, like, destroyed box office because everybody knew that Andrew Garfield was in it and Toby.
Yeah.
And so I think Sony wants that again because they obviously want to cash in on that again. Whereas I think Marvel actually wants to tell like a legitimate, localized, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man story. And I think... Yeah.
Feige wanted to do the whole friendly neighborhood Spider-Man because he wanted to be able to tie it in more with like... Kingpin would have been the big bad, and he's not that big of a big bad just because he's going to be running for mayor or some shit, right? So I don't know, but Tom's like, he chimed in an interview recently, and he said, we have the best in the business working towards whatever the story might be, but until we've cracked it, we have a legacy to protect. The third movie was so special in so many ways that we need to make sure we do the right thing.
It's true.
And this is a mature Tom Holland who didn't know shit and was accidentally and maybe purposefully leaking shit when he was younger, but he's played the role a couple times. He's been around. He's been in some other movies, and he knows now. I think like he's an older guy.
Yeah,
not older than that, but you know what I mean. Like he's
Totally.
he's wiser, and he's
Well,
totally about.
he's
I mean,
been-
I don't know if he's protecting it in the right way, but at least he's got that going for him.
He's been in the game longer. He knows now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some sweat in the game now. So,
Totally.
Okay, well, speaking of Spider-Man, Disney finally re-embracing, I guess, non-canon stories for Marvel. Brad Winderbaum, who's head of streaming, television, and animation over there at Marvel,
Mhm.
he said that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is not going to be canon. They talked about maybe trying to make it in the MCU, but he said there were too many difficult hurdles early on. We couldn't really use his rogues gallery. We couldn't really use his origin. It was not fun, honestly.
Yeah.
We would have put so many limiters on our story to get back to lock into canon. So they just dropped a trailer the other day. I don't know if you watched it. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. It's coming out on the 29th of
I didn't.
January, so pretty soon. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that they're going back down this whole, like, the Elseworlds. DC has their Elseworlds. We were just talking about Batman and Batman 2.
Mhm.
It's not canon. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with them ignoring canon.
I saw some not too favorable opinions on this most recent season of What If.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently there's some funny things that go on in it. I don't really like the concept of What If I'm being honest. Like I get it, but it's like, hey, what if Marvel went back to making like good shit? You know what I mean? Like, what if that?
Yeah,
happened?
I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. Like, one of my favorite Superman stories is What If. You know, it's Red Sun.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's fucking awesome. But
There's good ones.
I can see how, like, yeah, you just, when you could overdo it or kind of, I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I haven't even watched really What If, so I understand.
Yeah.
It really didn't interest me too much.
Well, people are worried about it now because the person who's running that show is going to take over for X-Men 97 for the second season, since the other guy like got fired for whatever reason.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay.
All right. What else you working with, Dusty? What else we got?
Well, you probably won't care about this one too much because it's about League of Legends. You know,
It's okay.
Dan is a Tom Kinch main for all of you guys out there.
Yeah.
But Bloomberg recently reported Arcane was a financial miss for Riot. His 2 seasons reportedly cost $250 million to produce and market.
Mm.
And Netflix only paid like $3 million for each episode, and then Tencent paid another $3 million on top of that to have it aired in China.
Okay.
You know, those numbers fall short of the total cost of making it. So, you know, Bloomberg's like, hey, this kind of sucked for Riot. They didn't do too well. Well, Riot co-founder Mark Merrill decided to chime in on this, take some initiative and refute the claims as misguided. He said, people who look at the world through a short-term transactional cynical lens really struggle to understand Riot. This has been true with various people trying to claim the high-quality free games won't work, esports will never work, that our music was insane. They're now saying that Arcane wasn't awesome and worth it. These people think we make things like Arcane to sell skins, when in reality, we sell skins to make things like Arcane, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's like, hey, we made this free game, we sell these skins, and we get to do whatever the fuck we want because people buy our skins. So fuck you.
No, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean, and even though it was just a two series or a 2-season, you know, limited series,
Is that
they do
it?
have
It's
3
done now?
spinoffs. They do have 3 spinoffs in development. One will take place in Noxus, one in Ionia, and one in Demacia. The Arcane took place in Noxus. It was built over in Zon. So yeah, we're gonna get some more Riot stuff. They're in the TV show business now. They're losing money on it, but they don't care because that's what they do.
They probably lost money on the show, but they probably made money in the long run.
Right.
Just in terms of like marketing their, like, you know, maybe not
like they didn't get any new players out of it, really.
No.
There was no casual viewers, but the show itself was an actual hit.
Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. There are casual
numbers.
viewers. I know people who have watched it who don't know anything about League of Legends. So
Right.
they could pivot that into other types of merch and toys and all sorts of stuff that opens those characters up to a whole new audience of people that aren't
Well,
just
and Riot
gamers,
is already
you know?
in the market of making other types of games too. League of Legends
Right.
isn't going to be their only game. They're
No,
making
for sure, but-
online multiplayer games and shit too. so-
Absolutely. I'm just saying that this is an opportunity to make money just outside of games altogether, you know? If they
Yeah.
wanted to. Just on merch alone, like, you know, if a kid watched Arcane and they have toys and they want to fuck it, you know, that's something, that's a good opportunity. I don't know. Maybe, like,
Okay.
I'm just saying, maybe the show lost money, but like in the long run, they're going to probably make money off of it. It's in some way. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Did you see our boy Zack complaining about WB?
Nope.
This shit. I thought this was
Tell me about it.
complaining about the mandates they put on him for Justice League. There were just two, really. Make it funny.
Yeah.
And make it under 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you going to introduce 6 new people and an alien and make it under 2 hours and blah, blah, blah. And I get to make it funny, but I'm Zack Snyder and I got to do slow-mo fucking character building.
Yeah.
Just make it funny and make it under 2 hours. And he's on, I guess it can be done because, you know, Joss did it, but.
Wow. Did
whatever.
he? Did Joss do it? No.
I mean, he made it. No.
It was funny.
He made it under
but
2
not,
hours. But
it was funny, but not because they wanted it to be funny. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a vocal Zack Snyder critic. I don't really particularly think he's the greatest filmmaker. He's definitely not a good writer. He's got a good eye. Like, he knows how to frame. Like, he's got a good visual language for sure. But you know, there are aspects of the DCEU that are not his fault, and I've said that a number of times. Like, clearly Warner Brothers wanted to catch up to Marvel, which is completely fucking asinine since Marvel had 22 films over 10 years to get to Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers wanted this guy to get to fucking the big event movie in 2 fucking films. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's certainly not his fault. And I also understand, like, the make it funny thing. That is not necessarily Warner Brothers' fault. That's his fault for having it be such a dark and humorless, serious fucking thing. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's a place for that, but also, like, come on, bro. Like, you're taking yourself too seriously. And again, the main thing is this. He wanted to make The Watchmen with legacy characters. And that's that. And
yeah,
that's
the flash quips weren't enough to save it.
The joke of, like, Batman's superpower being that he's rich is so old and, like, boring and done. It's like, give me a break. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Okay.
I give him shit, but there are some things that I'm sure the studio, didn't give him a lot of leeway with, for sure.
Okay. Well, this one's not in the list here, but I'm going to just bring it up real quick before I go on to the last piece here. I saw a story that I almost included, and I probably should have because I didn't know. I figured Marvin wouldn't care about it, but Willem Defoe, he's basically locked in for Robert Eggers' like next 3 movies.
I saw that.
Is what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
He did the last couple, which with The Lighthouse, and what was the other one?
I can't remember. It was Lighthouse for sure, and then was Willem Dafoe in The Northman? I don't remember.
No, actually, I don't think he was.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah. Anywho, I thought that was kind of interesting about these guys kind of stick with their favorites.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Taylor Sheridan. That's what he does. Like, the same people are in like all of his shows.
James Gunn always casting his brother, and he's got spots for certain.
Yeah, I mean,
or even Scorsese himself. He's worked with the same fucking handful of people his entire career.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've never obviously worked in film or television or whatever, but I could imagine working on a set, if done properly, is like a very personal and close experience that you develop with these people. And it's like, why would you want to deviate from that when you build a rapport with people? I mean, it just seems like common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
cool. Plus, I love Willem Dafoe, so
Yeah.
definitely down to see more of him.
Okay, well, the last piece I have here, unless you got something.
I do have one. It's a bit of a sad note. Actress Olivia Hussey passed away this week. Yeah, she was. I mean, she was well known for Romeo and Juliet, but I was bringing it up specifically because she was the star of a movie we recently made. Well, not recently, but we made Marvin watch here on the podcast, Black Christmas. She played the lead, Jess Bradford, in Black Christmas. So rest in peace to her. She was only 73, so pretty young, unfortunately.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter at 100.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I saw there was a funny tweet about it. So, you know, Ken Klippenstein, the reporter, he's a journalist, pretty active on Twitter. He's an independent journalist. He tweeted that Jimmy Carter died at 100, so therefore he's now eligible to be in a position in Congress or something like that. I thought it was pretty funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, all right. Speaking of getting old, Denzel Washington just turned 70.
Oh, happy birthday.
He was born on December 28th, 1954. So he's same year as my mom.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Yeah. He was baptized last week and presented with an ordained ministry license. So
I saw that briefly.
He can wed you if you're in the market.
If I get married, I'll hire him.
Yeah. He was baptized at Kelly Temple Church of God in Christ in Harlem.
Okay.
Actually recently described Christianity as unfashionable in Hollywood, but he apparently sticks to his faith anyways. Denzel's one of those guys. He's kept a pretty quiet, modest life. You know, he's married Pauletta. They've been married, I think, 40 some odd years. They got several kids. Some of them are in movies now. David, right? He's in movies. We talked about him recently. He said he's only got a few films left to do. I think he wants to do some Shakespeare, a couple characters that he wants to do before he retires. But he's this apparently Gladiator 2 was one of these films, or maybe just working with Ridley Scott again was on his bucket list before he goes out. So yeah. He was talking about how where Ridley was. He did an interview on Empire, and he was talking about this movie we're about to talk about, and he said it's the best thing I've ever made. One of the best things. I've made a few good ones.
Okay.
And I love Ridley Scott. I think he's made some bangers. Some of my favorite movies of all time are from Ridley Scott. So when he says that, I am disappointed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well,
so that's all the news I have.
I'm glad that he liked it. Thank you for the news, Dusty.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the movie we're talking about today. Like I said earlier, the sequel that nobody wanted. That is Gladiator 2. This is the sequel to what is like a masterpiece. I don't know who decided it was a good idea to make this movie. I don't know where it had to have been like an executive thing. I made the joke to my buddy that Ridley Scott must have just like owed money to somebody. It was like, just sign the check. I'll do it. But you know, I mean, Gladiator came out in 2000. It's like almost 30 years later. And I know we see some sequels 30 years later. We've seen a lot recently.
Beetlejuice,
Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters. Like, there's a bunch of them. Some of which we like.
Russell Crowe actually wanted them to bring him back to life for this movie.
I cannot for the life of me understand who decided to like get this movie going and made. I just it's got to just be a thing. Like Ridley Scott is fucking 87 years old. So it's like he definitely doesn't give a fuck, and I think he's like been quoted as saying like he'll make movies until he like physically can't anymore, or until they just stop him.
Sure.
And that's like that there's something to respect about that, but also like this movie was a piece of shit. Like it's just not good at all in any way, shape, or form.
There were some very small redeeming qualities about some parts of this film.
All right. Well, you'll have to let me know what those are, because I didn't notice any. But this is about Lucius, if you remember, the kid from the original Gladiator, who was son of Connie Nielsen's character Lucilla, and heir to the throne of Rome as Marcus Aurelius's grandson. Hang on. Now, this is about, so the plot synopsis on IMDb is after his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome, Lucius is forced to enter the Colosseum and must look to his past to find strength to return the glory of Rome to its people. And there's a lot in this film about what his grandfather wanted for Rome. The vision that is Rome, the quote that we hear so much about. But this takes place 16 years after Marcus Aurelius's death. Marcus Aurelius, obviously played by, what's his name? Russell Crowe, Maximus. I'm sorry, Marcus Aurelius is the former
emperor.
Emperor, right? This takes place 16 years after that, and so apparently there are some. There's
I thought it takes place 16 years after the death of Maximus, right?
No, Marcus. That's why I got confused. Well, but Maximus. Okay. So in the original Gladiator, there's like no actual timeline of how long he was fighting.
Right.
But this movie attempts to put some sort of time frame on it, as far as I understood it, which also made no fucking sense. And,
because the boy is a young boy the whole time throughout the whole movie in the first one. From when they first see Maximus, when Marcus Aurelius dies, to when Maximus dies at the end of the movie, the kid has not aged.
Right. And I also believe the kid was 8. And I know that specifically because I looked it up, because I have a specific gripe that I wanted to talk about, but we'll get into it. So anyhow, that's basically the premise. It's 16 years later. Lucius has to like fucking save Rome or some shit. His mom is in it again. Bless you. His mom is in it again. Denzel Washington's in it for some fucking reason. Pedro Pascal is in it. So, all right, let's talk about it. What'd you think?
Macrinus? Was that his name?
Yeah, Macrinus. So tell me about those redeeming factors.
Okay. So I told you from the beginning that I didn't want to watch this movie. I thought this movie was useless. This was a dumb movie. And Marvin was the one, which is why I'm disappointed he wasn't here. He's like, nah, Denzel, this was going to be a banger. And I'm like,
he was probably
Denzel
joking.
Might do a good job. But
if he was here to ask,
even I was disappointed in.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like Denzel was kind of just being Denzel in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell that from the trailer. I think that's why it was getting such criticism when the trailer came out. Like the non-racist fuck criticism that it was getting, I think was based on that it was like, he's just being Denzel. Like, why is he in this? It makes no sense.
Yeah. I don't know. And I guess, trying to tie, like, you could have called this movie The Empire and not tied it to Marcus and Maximus and just made it a movie about the, Rome.
Yeah.
And it probably would have done better than it did. The redeeming values. Okay.
Well, hang on.
When he gets to the call, go ahead.
I was going to say, you say done better. This movie's got fucking good reviews. Don't ask me how. I know how, but they ain't real. That's for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. As far as redeeming values, I don't know. The story to me wasn't all that interesting, but some of the things that happened in the story, like when he was in the Coliseum and his conversations with the doctor, I thought that was some pretty good dialogue, and it was pretty good like character development of like he finally needed him at the end, and he went and got the soldiers or whatever. Like that little story arc in and of itself made the movie like, okay, this wasn't total trash. There was a couple things in there that I was like, okay, because I enjoyed like him going in there and being pretty dismissive to the doctor character, and
Yeah.
how that evolved. But other than that, it was basically a redo of the first one, except not good. Like this feels like Top Gun, except Ridley Scott was sick when he did this one, so it turned out like trash.
Is that why? Because he was sick, the movie turned out like trash?
I don't know.
Oh, you
Sick
just
in
make
the
the
head,
Oh,
baby.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought this movie was just completely dog shit from top to bottom. Like, I didn't really like anything about, honestly, from like the opening seconds of the movie, I knew I was going to hate it because this movie is just, first of all, ugly to look at. It is an ugly fucking movie.
Did you like all the AI generated crowd?
No, I didn't like anything about it. The cinematography was
It was
terrible.
terrible. The CGI was bad.
The CGI fucking monkeys in the beginning were fucking horrendous.
It was all bad. When he got his arm cut off,
Yeah.
and he was like going into the water. I was like, what is
Yeah.
this?
The CGI was.
Is this a high school project that somebody turned in? What are we doing?
This looked like a movie made for like the History Channel or something. It looked like a History Channel, like, when they do like the reimaginings or whatever, when they do like the historical, the dramatizations of what they're talking about. That's what it looked like to me. Ugly ass movie. The coloring was fucking terrible. It just looked cheap. The CGI was terrible. It was just it was flat, had no soul, no personality, no texture. Just looked like a bland fucking thing, and I hated it. So from literally the opening of the movie, I was like, this movie's terrible. And in a movie that makes Pedro Pascal bad, there's a problem, because Pedro Pascal was terrible in this movie. Some of his dialogue delivery, awful. Basically throughout the movie had shit acting. It was just all around not good.
Star-studded.
Yeah, star-studded. All of them bad. The plot made zero fucking sense. Honestly, I had to I had to refer to Wikipedia for a lot of it. Like, and I get this is ancient Rome and things are different, but like this movie basically is about the kid, like I said, Lucius, and it turns out he was sent away by his mother, Lucilla, after the events of the original Gladiator. She sent him away to protect him from people who were like gonna like try to like challenge him for the throne or whatever, because he was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was staying with the imam or whatever, and the soldiers showed up, and then he ran away, and so she never heard from him again.
Right. And so he shows up in this one in the fucking Coliseum games again, fighting, and he's emulating Maximus from the original one, because his meeting of Maximus in the original film was like a huge fucking thing. It's like one of the main driving things of the plot in that first movie, and for both characters. Okay. And so he's emulating Maximus to win the fights, and she realizes like, oh, that's my son, and they kind of try to reconnect or whatever. It's just none of it makes sense. Sorry, you were gonna make a point.
Yeah. So how I don't remember this. Like,
Yeah,
he was with her in the car at the beginning of the first movie, as far as I remember, and so he'd already been born. Maximus had been on this campaign for Marcus Aurelius, already had a wife and kids. How is this kid his son?
Yeah, okay, so let's get into that, because that was the most egregious part of this movie, and for me, unforgivable.
I agree.
This is okay. The worst part of the movie. The movie was bad from, like I said, top to bottom, from the head down to the socks.
So is he an adulterer, or?
Hang on. This movie was bad, okay, in every possible way. From the head down to the socks, as my boy Biggie would say, right? But this was the worst part of the movie. And it absolutely ruined the character of Maximus. Okay?
Mhm.
Because the whole point
Yes.
of Maximus in the first one was to get vengeance for his beloved wife and son. Yet
Yes.
we're now to believe he was also having an affair with Lucilla and father son. It doesn't make any sense. Okay.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was all about to avenge them and to see them again in the afterlife. Like, he would have gone to hell
mhm.
if he had sired his son with another woman
Right.
from adultery.
So
What?
if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen the original, so I may be wrong. Those of you who are watching, please correct me in the comments. But I think it's alluded to that Maximus and Lucilla were close growing up together. I believe. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they knew each other because he treated
been part of-
Marcus treated Maximus like a son.
Correct.
That he always wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had like a previous relationship. Doesn't mean it was
Sure.
like physical or sexual. Okay.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, it's explicitly stated in the original Gladiator that Lucius was 8 years old, because there's the conversation between Maximus and Lucilla. That's like they're talking about their kids and they're similar ages. So they're both 8. So in order for him to have fathered Lucius, he would have had to cheat on his wife.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck. I saw that. I was looking it up on Reddit because there was some things that I didn't remember. And people on Reddit were like, well, you got to understand it's ancient Rome and like adultery wasn't really a thing as it is now. You're trying to apply modern day morals to like ancient Rome. And it's like, fuckface. The movie came out in 2000. Okay. So regardless,
he was an honorable commander.
Right. Regardless of history, the morality of our time was injected into the character by the writers when the movie came out in 2000. So Maximus would not have fucking done that, no matter what. It doesn't matter.
He would not have.
It completely invalidates and ruins his character. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was just completely unnecessary too. Because again, it undermines Maximus's devotion to his family.
See, I thought we were gonna get like maybe they were bumping uglies when he was in the Coliseum, like when he was a prisoner after the fact, after his wife and son were dead, and she had a baby after that, and that was
nope.
Like that could have been believable, but when you do it like this, you just like, yeah, fuck Maximus, you know, and all the honor and
yeah. Well, like I said, the ages of the boys was explicitly discussed in the first one, and their age was about the same, which means he would have had to cheat with Lucilla.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the quote, but apparently Russell Crowe himself was uncomfortable with this, saying it's not in the moral journey of the character.
It's not
to have done this. But like the whole time I was like, what is gained by making Lucius the son of Maximus? What does that accomplish for this movie other than a very empty, false sense of sentimentality of being like, remember? Like the meeting between Lucius and Maximus in the first movie was so meaningful and memorable already. And it would have been equally, if not more meaningful for Lucius just to have remembered Maximus as a heroic figure who inspired him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Because he is loyalty, or not loyal. He was royalty, and he's seeing, you know, just a Roman. Yeah, I guess Maximus was kind of royalty because he was a general, but a general and a fighter in the Colosseum, like just a person as a fighter.
And I mean, like, okay, he watched Maximus kill his kill his uncle, but like his uncle was threatening his mother to the point where Lucius was like afraid of his uncle. So like any person with a brain would have wrote adult Lucius looking back at Maximus with nothing but like just inspiration and like fond memories of him. Like you didn't need to inject this fake fucking like father-son thing into it to give their relationship meaning. Their relationship already had meaning. So I just like couldn't understand like what the purpose of it was. I still can't. I don't understand. Did they do it to make Lucius make his physical prowess and like leadership skills seem plausible? Maybe. But again, why couldn't it just have been that it was his experiences that shaped him? Like, why would it have to be a father-son relationship that gave him this? It made no sense.
Yeah. Well, and Denzel's character, like, running down that resolute storyline of, I mean, I know he's kind of here to fuck shit up, but I'm going to fuck his shit up because I'm here to fuck shit up, and we're fucking shit up the way I want to fuck shit up. Like, I can't just let him fuck shit up and get away with it by like helping him.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got to fuck him up.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be the bad guy to be the bad guy.
Yeah. It was weird. And like, there's a lot of like, just like memberberry fucking bullshit of like, with the shrine to Maximus, and it had like his sword and armor, and it was like, okay.
Yeah. They left that up, but they scratched out his name.
Yeah.
What?
I just, none of it really made any sense to me. So
it was pretty bad. But again, there were a couple small, like I liked the conversation with him and the doctor, and that was
okay.
That was good.
Well, then there was the ending too, which I don't know that I've seen a more egregious thing in a movie, at least recently. But this ending where Lucius says, "Father, talk to me," and it cuts to reused footage of the dream sequence at the end of the original Gladiator, where Maximus returns home, and meets his wife and kid. But like, it's that shot of his hand like brushing the grass. I'm actually gonna get choked up thinking about it because of the original movie, not this piece of shit. But it's the scene when his hand is like brushing.
It's offensive in the second movie.
It really is. Yeah. It's the scene at the end where Maximus dies and his hand is brushing the grass.
Field,
yeah. They reuse that fucking footage when at the end of this movie where Lucius says, "Father, talk to me," and then not only did they reuse the scene, but out of fucking nowhere, we just get the fucking the Hans Zimmer score of the original with Lisa Gerrard singing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the weakest fucking thing I've ever seen in a movie. I was so upset and angry. I was appalled. Honestly, it was so fucking insulting. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's like Ridley. Like letting one of his like aides talk to him, like, "Oh my God, it would be so just emotionally riveting if you did this at the end of the movie." That's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Like,
honestly, I don't think Ridley Scott gives a shit one way or another. To be honest, like, because if you didn't to begin with, you wouldn't be making this movie. Okay. I mean, you could have made a Gladiator too and you could have done all of this if you wanted to, really. But the father-son angle, like it was so unnecessary. And it literally ruined Maximus's character from the first movie. Like,
I feel like he peaked in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s. He's made some good stuff since then. But
have you seen the movie with Matt Damon that came out a couple years ago? What the fuck is it called?
The
Last
one where
Duel.
He's the Oiler.
No, The Last Duel. That movie.
No, yes, I have seen that.
That movie's incredible.
It's long.
Yeah, but it's an amazing movie. So I don't know. I think he just doesn't give a shit, really.
Yeah,
it's not that long. It's actually the same length.
Yeah, that's the one where it's from 3 different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
You basically get the same movie from 3 different perspectives.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This was just, man. It was real bad. It was really bad. And it was just completely devoid of anything resembling what made Gladiator what it is, which is a masterpiece. The original Gladiator is a masterpiece. And if you were coming into this movie hoping for like maybe a meaningful sequel to a masterpiece, you're in for a rude awakening. And you and I, we were, when this got announced, you and I like were laughing like, there's no way this is going to be good. Why is this being made? We had no interest in watching it, but I wasn't fooled by it, but if anybody out there was, skeptical of this and like maybe decided to check it out because they saw the good reviews that were out there.
I mean, I was right. Denzel made a bad movie.
Yeah. But you have, again, not you, but like the people maybe would have been bamboozled by what are clearly paid for reviews. It's crazy. There is no way that the reviews for this movie are legitimately given and not paid for. I refuse to believe it.
Guess everybody's got to have one.
Like, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, not that Rotten Tomatoes means anything. We always have to we always reiterate that it doesn't mean shit. but people look at this stuff. It's got favorable reviews.
Both
Why?
sides, yeah.
5 stars, like great movie. Like, I think we are in a time where there is just no media literacy whatsoever. Like, there isn't. You can't watch this movie and be like, no, this was great. Unless you're watching unless you want what Netflix is putting out, which is those movies that you could put on in the background and not have to pay attention to. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on this movie. I don't have anything else to say about it. Do you?
No.
Just a sigh, a deep sigh.
Yeah. The cast, great names.
Doesn't mean much.
Movie sequel. Yeah. No. A sequel that didn't need to be made. Please stop doing this, people. Stop doing this. Don't make sequels for movies that don't need sequels.
Like, I honestly don't think this movie was given like any serious thought whatsoever. But what I will say is that if they went into this with,
I hope they lost money. Did they lose? I think they did. I don't know.
Let's see. If they went into this with any type of like goal, I think it was to recreate the spectacle of the first movie. But they left everything else at the door. Like, they didn't do anything else. And like I said, the father-son angle was just like really just cheap, shallow way to bring sentimentality into it and like try to make this emotional thread because they had no substance anywhere else and they knew it. So they were probably like, yeah, just make him Marcus's fucking son.
It would have been so much better if
I know.
he would have not been his son. And he's like, I saw a man do this and he changed my life.
Yeah.
And I'm actual royalty to the throne and I'm going to fight my way to fix things.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been, somewhat interesting, but you had to like shoehorn in this stupid fucking narrative.
Okay. So as of December 30th, today, Gladiator 2 has grossed $163.1 million in the United States and Canada and $272.1 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $435.2 million. So its budget was $310 million.
Yeah, they spent some money on marketing too. They probably spent 350 to 4 total on it. So they are barely breaking even on it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It is what it is. I don't understand how it has good reviews. I don't. It has a 6.7 on IMDb. Yeah, it's got to be.
Give it a 2.
You give it a 2?
Yes.
All right. I'm going with a 0 again. I've been handing out zeros like candy on Halloween.
Yeah, man. That's all right. It's all right.
It's just a 0. It has no redeeming qualities to it for me. Like,
The Order was a better movie. We could have talked about that. Oh my gosh.
Well, we got a whole month of movies to plan coming up. So, yeah, this was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Let us know in the comments, folks. We want your opinions. Tell us what you thought of Gladiator 2. Did you like it? If so, what did you like about it?
Yeah, tell us why we're the outcast few that hated it. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us what's great about the movie.
There can't be anybody out there that watched the original and liked this also. There just can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe like younger, like TikTok audiences who have seen Gladiator and are like, this movie fucking is awesome because there's like stabbing and shit. I don't know. Oh man. Anyway. Yeah, let us know, folks. That's gonna do it for us. For this, our last podcast of 2024. Yeah. We wish you all a very happy New Year. Have a safe New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year.
We'll be back next week. We don't know what we're watching yet. We got to work on the schedule for January. But if you wanted to be in the know on what we are watching from week to week, join our Discord. The link will be in the description of the video or on our website, harshlanguage.tv, where we have all of our important links. Join our Discord, and we post our schedule so that way people could watch along with us and get involved in the conversation every week. So that's where our schedule lives. But yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us and sticking around with us for the year. And we have a lot more to come in 2025, so we hope you'll be there for that as well. Right, Dusty?
That's right.
All right. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you have not done so already. We'd love to have you. And we will catch you next year.
That's right. See you next year.
Have a good one.
Hasta.